Dude, you have no idea how excited I am to talk about this album today. Frank Sinatra's In the Wee Small Hours of the Morning is admittedly a very important album. It was kind of one of the first concept albums, of Frank Sinatra focusing more on heartbreak and loneliness within this album. Of course, naturally stemming from where he was in his love life, it naturally makes sense. But it was also one of the first, albums as a whole. Like it popularized using 12 inches in pop music and stuff like that. And I think for that, it makes this a really important album in terms of the history of music. But even ignoring all of that, this is just one of my favorite albums of all time. Or at least like top 30 or something for me. Just looking at what this album means to me and how it's helped me out in my life. I think especially part of the reason that this album works so well when you're looking at it, especially from a modern music landscape, is that the first track in The Wee Small Hours in the Morning sets up almost a bit of a narrative device that kind of helps it execute its concept of going through heartbreak, where, the song talks about how when you're staying up late at night and you're thinking about your girl, you're really going through it. Hearing that sets up this image in your mind about how this album is basically just Frank Sinatra staying up late at night thinking about things, and it helps clarify why it is the way it is. There are, some songs that are a bit more upbeat, like Glad to Be Unhappy or I'll Be Around, and then it'll just swing to absolutely devastating tracks like When Your Lover Is Gone. And yeah, when you're up late and you're ruminating about life, like, yeah, you're gonna cycle from thinking about some happier moments to some sadder moments. Like, it feels very natural. It's a human album, is the way to put it. Of course, Frank Sinatra is an amazing singer on this album too. I don't think that needs to go without saying. It's Frank Sinatra. You know who Frank Sinatra is. The instrumentation is also really beautiful. It's just great orchestral stuff, and I think it works amazingly. It's everything I love about listening to like pop music from the 50s. And then take all of that and then combine it with a consistent theme and a very dense like nighttime atmosphere. If you listen to this late at night, or even better, if you wake up early in the morning and you can't go back to bed, this album is genuinely like the perfect feeling for that. You end up getting an album that's really cohesive and just works amazingly on all fronts. Oh god, wait, I just remembered how I discovered this album too. Back in 8th grade, I kept up with Silva Gunner pretty often, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, I found this album because there was a Snow Point City rip that came out, and I was like, what's this pretty song? And it was in the Wee Small Hours. It's such a That's such a nerdy way to find an album. Jesus Christ. Also, since I have it, I might as well talk about the vinyl release of the album that I have. This is a kind of a weirder release. This is a European reissue more recently that I bought, I think, off Amazon because it was a pretty normal price, but also has this nice turquoise vinyl that I thought looked neat. Now, in terms of the sound quality, though, in general presentation, it's just like ever so slightly off. For one, I mean, the front cover it's mirrored. If you notice, for Frank's on the left instead of the right. I don't know why they did that. It's also a lot more of a turquoise color, which does actually match the streaming services cover. If you look on like Spotify, it's much over a turquoise. Compared to the deep blue though of the original like vinyl printing. I'm not sure why it changed up, but might have been something to do with a reissue. I'm not sure. But yeah, in terms of sound quality though, when you're listening to it, it's good if you're listening on speaker, but it's ever so it just the voice peaks sometimes if you listen to headphones, and that gets a bit grating. So I don't know. I can't really compare against like an older like stereo pressing of this album. It's possible it might be better. I really don't know. I can't tell, but for the price I got, it wasn't a terrible pickup at all. But yeah, for this time, I mean, I genuinely think this album is kind of a masterpiece in, older pop music. Like, Frank Sinatra really executed, like, a conceptual album that has good flow and everything, like, way back in 1955. I have no clue how he did it, but, well, I do know how he did it. He's a good artist. Whatever, And yeah, I mean, even evaluating this album by modern standards, like, it really is an amazing masterpiece that has helped me a lot in past heartbreaks I've gone through, and to this day just has such a great atmosphere to it that anytime it's late and I put this on, we get in turn to Frank. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm gonna put this away, maybe listen to it a little bit more.